have the start of a little herb container garden. We have rosemary, we have mint, we have oregano, and a couple of basils. These are all in sub-irrigated planters. So in the lower reaches of this, there are containers that are inverted. Um, and what that does is it makes it so that the soil, the full cross section of this soil doesn't make it all the way to the bottom. So there are only a couple of little columns of soil that go all the way to the bottom. So we can have the bottom fill up with water, and those little columns of soil will wick water up, but it won't be so much water that it completely floods the root zones of the plant and stifles their growth. Um, and the plants, well, some of them really love that. So, for example, this mint here has been in here for about 2 weeks. It has never been watered since that time. Its soil's still pretty moist. It's gotten rained on a little bit, and it's gotten some dew in the morning, but it's very happy. It's probably doubled in size. This rosemary didn't have any flowers when it went in there. It had a couple of buds, but you can see it's flowering quite heavily now. And the oregano still looks great. It's putting on new growth and whatnot. So I'm just going to come along here with a little bit of our compost extract and just kind of give them a feed. Just recognizing that there's no drainage in the bottom of this, so that's not going in. So I just want to be, considered in my application of this stuff, because it's going to be in here until it's used, basically. Now, these three plants, they're having a great time. Mint especially is incredibly well suited to this sort of thing. Basil is a work in progress, and you can see the basil here is showing some signs of water stress. So basil really likes to have its root zone dry out completely before the next time it gets access to water. It's a work in progress to sort of figure out how to adapt this system, because the joy of this system, one, is that it's portable, but two, is that it's really low intervention. So water once every 2 weeks, maybe, when it's working for the plants that it's working for. So probably this one I'm going to repot later today with a more freely draining mix, something chunkier, so that it's experiencing less wicking pressure in its root zone, and hopefully that'll make it a happier camper. So that's why it's not getting the compost extract right now, because it'll get that after it gets situated. But that is a process that we're going into, because specifically the food bank asked to have a source of herbs for more of the year, for people to be able to, if you're giving people a bunch of food, but you don't give them any ways to make that food taste good, it's going to be a hard sell to get folks to take stuff other than the, processed, prepackaged sort of stuff. And it's an ongoing, as far as I understand, educational effort here in the county with the food bank. Of there are people who are willing to supply them with really high quality, healthy foods. And a lot of that comes to us to be composted, because people want the Wonder Bread, and they want the packaged processed stuff, because somebody's already done all of the work of figuring out how to make that taste good. It's not a healthy thing, the methods by which it's made to taste good. But if we can give people, in addition to, like, okay, here's some healthy food, but also here's some healthy, organically produced herbs to make that healthy food taste good, that's going to be a winning combination. So we thought we could step in to that niche a little bit. We have the greenhouse down the way, which is going to allow us to do a fair amount of season extension. So we should be able to grow into the winter. All of these are in a portable format, so we can just move them right down there as soon as it starts getting too cold for them to be out here on the deck. And then we'll be able to kick right off in spring. All of these, they might go a little bit dormant, but they should survive in the greenhouse pretty well. We'll keep it above freezing in there for sure for them, and in this should be able to provide a supply of herbs through the winter, and then really kick off in the spring. So we're accumulating more and more containers to do this, and it's mostly recycled effort. So when you look at stuff like this oregano is hanging out here in a glaze bucket. So this was acquired by one of our volunteers from a local bakery. A lot of places where they make cakes or donuts or whatnot, they'll just have bucket after bucket after bucket of frosting or glaze, and they all just go to recycling or the landfill. And so if you ask them nicely, they'll give them to you, and you can use them grow ups for people.